My ex, he only cried one time while we dated, and it was in a really fucked up situation. I remember seeing him crying, and I'm like, oh, he's finally crying.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to Three Girls, One Kitchen. On today's episode, we're discussing a dating trend that I've seen a lot on TikTok lately, referencing feminine and masculine energy. Have you guys seen that trend?
I honestly haven't been using TikTok that much lately, so I have not. But now I want to get on because I love seeing the little trends and learning from TikTok, low-key.
A lot of people hate me for this, but TikTok really has some great dating advice.
I'm like, yeah, TikTok is the worst when it comes to
I
learning.
use it for food, to be honest.
Yeah, for food and like travel. That's fun.
All right, so on TikTok, they're basically saying that harnessing and balancing your feminine and masculine energy will help you attract a partner. You may have heard of yin and yang, derived from Chinese philosophy dualism. The concept of yin and yang is finding the balance between two opposites. Going forward, we're going to use the word yang to define the masculine energy, and we're going to use the word yin to define the feminine energy in this episode. With that being said, let's navigate these turbulent waters and find our balance. Okay, I feel like this episode is basically the TikTok trend, or if it was going to be a TikTok trend, say that you went to Joshua Tree and got high on shrooms without saying that you went to Joshua Tree and got high on shrooms. Like, this episode, I feel so enlightened.
Oh my God.
Do you not?
No.
No.
I feel the same.
You feel the same?
I'm just cracked out from my caffeine pill, so I'm ready.
Nice.
I am enlightened. So this weekend, we did a last-minute decision and went to Joshua Tree, a little girls' trip, because this little girl over here had never done shrooms before, and she wanted to try it.
It was my first shrooms experience, and now I'm here on this podcast talking about yin and yang and Chinese philosophy.
Yeah, she's got fuzz on her sleeves.
I've got fuzz
she's all
on my
hippie
sleeves.
And shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we were holding crystals in our hand, but we actually always do.
I'm always
we always have our
crystal.
crystals. Yeah. Today we have turquoise
and
labradorite.
Do you want to explain why he gave you one of them that he gave you?
Oh, so it was confirmed. I did have pink eye in both eyes. You might have seen last episode. It's finally getting better. Today's my best day by far. I'm hoping it's better by this weekend so I can eat ass again. Okay, let's bounce into this episode. So you guys did some research on feminine and masculine energy.
Yeah.
Would you like to start on this topic, Olivia?
Yes. So obviously I don't really watch TikTok. So I've never heard of feminine or masculine energy, but I was really intrigued by doing some research on it and kind of seeing that those are traits that people, like, you can, like how you said, it'll help you kind of discover yourself and help you learn things about others. And so we all have masculine and feminine energy in our bodies, but sometimes we have more of one of those.
Yeah, you actually did a test.
Yeah.
I did. You sent the test to us and I didn't take it, but what did yours come out as?
So mine was feminine, which I was
really
a little thrown off because typically so one of the energies is going to be the dominant, which obviously is the masculine. So I felt like that was more me, but whenever I took the quiz, I was feminine.
I would have guessed you were feminine, not
really?
Masculine.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Whenever I briefly read I want to take the quiz. Also, I was asleep last night, but when I briefly read the differences, I would definitely say more feminine than masculine.
Yeah, that's true. I think, because basically the feminine is someone who isn't afraid to express their feelings, their emotions. They're very in tune with their emotions.
You're really good at that.
Yeah, but so the masculine is more someone who is like a planner, has like a 10-step to their manifestation, likes to be in control of things, is more of the dominant person, the protector. But I feel like I have both of those traits.
I think I'm exactly 50-50, to be honest.
Yeah.
So going back to the characteristics of your masculine energy, they can be defined by being more logical versus emotional, being strong mentally and physically. That's what our society deems as masculine, being structured, driven, goal-oriented, protective.
Yeah, like you said, the logic, it's the clarity. So they know what needs to be done and how to like achieve it or in order to achieve something.
Yeah, so it's saying masculine energy is being more logical in your thought process, Is it okay for men to also be emotional?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer it.
Yeah, if a man is too emotionless, I'm not gonna lie, it's a huge turnoff for me.
It's scary. Yeah, I like it when a guy shows emotion because one, it's just, I don't know why, it's like kind of sexy because he trusts you, and it just makes you bond and get closer. If you're in a situation to where a guy should be sad and he's acting normal, like that's not cute. Like trying to be like the big bad guy.
That's so my ex. He only cried one time while we dated, and it was in a really fucked up situation. It was like a horrible situation, but I remember seeing him crying, and I'm like, oh, he's finally crying.
Oh my God.
Because he never did it.
He cries. Oh my God.
Wow, he cries. So yeah, it's definitely a turnoff if a man is too hyper masculine, or what's it called? Toxic masculinity. And they're stuck in their ways of trying to hide their emotions. That's really unattractive.
Yeah, I agree.
And unhealthy.
I definitely like a man that would be a little of the feminine energy, just because since I guess I have the feminine energy, and for feminine energy, it needs expression and creation, and without it, it dries out. So for me, I definitely want to have a significant other or a male that would have the creative mind and express their feelings, because that's something that I do. So I think I would get along with someone who has a feminine side and that is not particularly fully a masculine, energetic person.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't taken the test. I'm going to assume I'm probably in the middle. I want to take it to see. I don't know. What would you say?
I think you're feminine.
I think, but also when you read the masculine, a lot of it is my thought process and how I think and how I work as a person.
She actually is very logical versus emotional.
Yeah, that's very true. You do have like you're very organized. You're always like a planner. Like you need this, and this done in order to do or to achieve this. So yeah, I think you do have more of the masculine. Now thinking about it makes sense.
Well, I'll take the test and see. But I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, go on.
So although this TikTok trend is saying to stay in your essence of masculine or feminine, you could also be very out of balance by overdoing it. So when a man or a woman who is very masculine is aggressive, controlling, unsupportive, and those things can be derived from insecurities, having too much jealousy, that is probably worse than being in your energy, being unbalanced in it. Do you guys have any experience with that? Like, I know for me, when it comes to dating, if a man is too insecure, too controlling, that can be a huge turnoff. Even worse than if they're too emotional and too feminine.
Honestly, what I've noticed is usually they're both. I don't know. I don't have that much experience, but when they're like insecure and have all those issues or whatever, normally they are kind of emotional, like overly emotional as well.
Really?
I only have one experience with it, and yeah, it was definitely very emotional, more feminine.
Can you share your experience with us? You don't have to say any names.
I'm like first, last name.
Credit card number. I mean, just in ways that like I couldn't like post certain things. They didn't like when I did certain things. They were very insecure if I were to speak to members of the opposite sex, things like that.
I know who you're talking about. And in that experience, I told you this person is extremely insecure and they need to work on themselves before they're ready to be in a relationship. Because I can't imagine being in a relationship and being like, oh, you can't post that picture because people are going to see the side of you. Like, like literally this, I'm not saying a side of you. I'm saying literally the side of your body.
Like the side.
And so that is toxic masculinity, trying to control someone.
And then I was just going to say also emotional to where I would overreact to any situation. Like I'm pretty, I guess, logical. If something goes on, I'm like, okay, let's not freak out. Let's figure out what our options.
You're very stable, predictable.
Yeah, but immediately freak out, go like, it would be like a level 2 issue, bring it to a 20 nonstop. Yes.
Yeah.
All the time. So I think that maybe sometimes being like, I don't know, how would that work? Like the toxic masculinity also can go hand in hand with being
toxic feminine.
Toxic feminine? Like, can that happen?
I'm so lost here. So sorry, what? You're saying that he's toxic feminine and toxic masculine?
No, like she's asking you like, I know what you're saying. Basically, it's, I think some males aren't like, males naturally aren't programmed to be like the caregivers and the feminine. So I think if they have that trait in them, they don't know necessarily how to like properly handle it, you know, because we as women are very in tune with our emotions. We're the creators, like, we're the thinkers. So for a male to have those characteristics, I think they have a hard time balancing them or how to like express them or just the way that they handle situations.
I think his issues with being controlling is deeply rooted in insecurity, and I think that's what's throwing his balance off. And so he needs to look within and figure out why he's feeling that way, because honestly, who would want to live like that, like trying to control someone else? That's something that I've learned a lot this year, is let other people do what they want to do and sit back and observe. If it's not for you, then back off. But let people do what they want.
So whenever we feel like we're overly one trait, to get like on balance, how do we do that? We have to just be one with ourselves. Like, what advice would you give?
That's a good question, Alexa. So yeah, if you're hearing this podcast and you're like, wow, I'm too masculine, I'm too feminine in a toxic way, definitely look within and see where it's coming from. Because it's probably built up from some sort of trauma. Like, I'm sure that guy, maybe he's been cheated on in the past, or he's had issues with his girlfriend posting sexy pictures and then guys sliding in her DMs and her not being respectful. So I think this is rooted in trauma. And naturally, when you have bad experiences, your brain trying to protect you in the future will then draw those experiences when maybe you're dating someone else like Alexa, who is completely respectful, but your brain's thinking, oh, this happened in the past, this is what's going to happen again. And so you need to heal that trauma to move forward and rebalance yourself.
Wow, that was a great answer. It was very enlightening.
I like that, because I think the cool thing about knowing whether you're feminine or masculine when it comes to your energy is once you figure it out, like how she said, there's a toxic masculine, toxic feminine. And for me now, I definitely, thinking about it, I am guilty of, being too much in my feels sometimes. Like how I had said, the feminine energy doesn't suppress her emotions. They refer like her to the feminine. So his or her. So for me, like, they recognize emotions and feelings, and they use that as a value to send out messages in their thoughts or out into the world. So for me, I've realized that sometimes I do need to like be careful, because I do get way into my feels, and it could necessarily not be a good trait. So as long as you're self-aware, and how you said sometimes it stems from certain things. Like for me, like if I get really upset about something, it's because of previous experiences, and I'm very like shown, like, it shows a lot on me because I'm very feminine when it comes to my energy.
That's something that I'm working on this year as well. As I told you, I'm like, I think I'm going to start trusting men again. If they tell me that they love me, I'm going to believe that they love me until they show me that they don't love me. I'm going to believe that they want to do all the things that they said until they show me that they didn't. So it's just, even though you might have that trauma in the past and might have been treated very poorly by other people or had bad experiences, you really need to give everyone the benefit of the doubt when it comes to dating until they show you otherwise. Obviously, don't be stupid, but definitely don't not heal yourself from past trauma and past relationships before you try to talk to someone else and pursue a new relationship.
I mean, that's something I always have done. I let everyone start at 100 and see if they bring themselves down. So always go into something with a positive
That's that
mindset.
That's that masculine energy and that logic.
Yeah.
Because if you go in thinking something negative, your brain's going to create negative things like past, and you're going to find little things that might be nothing at all and just cause a scene and then break up the potential relationship.
I think me and Olivia have had huge issues with that in the past. But I know this year we're going to be giving everyone the benefit of the doubt. We trust men. We love men.
I'm like, I don't. You
like,
do.
Yeah, we do.
I'm like, I take everything for what it is, and I don't think of, like, I don't put in time and energy and thinking about things like I used to. Yeah. Like how if a guy like says I love you or whatever the case may be, or he wants to date you, he's love bombing you. For me, I used to take that to heart, and I would like just sit there and like dissect it. But now, no, I take everything for what it is. It's like, to me, that's a red flag. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not going to sit there and think about it. And I used to. So I think the thing that I'm doing this year is working on, being self-aware that what I don't have control over, I can't worry about, be sad about, just being logic, honestly, being more masculine. Like I'm trying to have the masculine energy.
That's very stoic of you. That's actually part of the stoic philosophy is not being upset over things that you have no control over.
Exactly. And like how the masculine energy, they're very logic. They're a planner. Like that's what I want to be. Like I want to be more realistic and I want to be more predictable and logic because I don't want to like fantasize about a guy or a relationship that's out of my control that doesn't exist and I'm making in my head and I'm letting people let me down because it's my fault. It's not even their fault. It's just how my thought process is.
A lot of people can ruin their own moods for a day or even a month, however long, by having that issue, like creating scenarios in their head and trying to control things that they cannot control, that are out of their control. So that's something that you can help yourself be happier if you stop doing those things.
Yeah, that's something that I'm letting go of as well, is trying to control other people and what's going to happen. Sure, I can know that I would like it if something happened, but I'm not going to be disappointed if it doesn't. I'm not going to be mad at the person. I'm just going to let it go because I need to live my best life. Yeah. And if someone doesn't want to live that best life with me or be part of it in the way that I hope that they wanted to, I'm going to let it go and I'm going to go find that somewhere else.
Exactly.
So you think that you fall into a toxic feminine category. So here are some of the traits of being off balance in your feminine energy. Being critical. That's something I've been guilty of in my last relationship.
Wow. I'm like,
being demanding. So basically that is saying things say you want something from your partner or the person that you're seeing or your friend. You're saying things in you have to do this way, kind of me with my ex, you have to move in with me or we're going to break up.
Yeah.
Just being very out of an unbalance of my feminine energy there. This is one that you suffer from, over being an overgiver and people pleasing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same way, girl.
Yeah. I'm like the first ones, I definitely don't, but the last ones, I think I would maybe be toxic feminine.
Yeah.
Then
and that's in a woman's nature to be giving and wanting to please other people. For me, that's one that I don't really suffer from.
I don't have that issue.
I'm a bit of a cunt. But I know we've talked about this so much in the past, is you are, no offense, but you're naturally a doormat. And us being two bitches, we try to help you with that.
No, but
where do you think you are with that now?
I'm a little better, but also someone can do me wrong and I will still show up with their favorite snack and be like, here, like maybe this will make them happy again, or maybe this will make them like me. I still will do little things like that, thoughtful things. But for me, the only way I can validate it is I want to still be myself and I don't want to change who I am as a person because someone else sucks.
So I guess where this could be bad is, do you ever feel like you give too much? Or maybe you don't have that feeling if you're really truly doing and giving things for the right reason, like that you love to see them happy or you just love to give. A lot of people overgive with selfish intentions because they want love in return or they want friendship.
That's where my disappointment stems from.
And that's where you get disappointed and you get hurt and you think, oh my God, they owe me for us to date or for us to be friends because I spent $1,000 on dinner for them or I sent them cookies and they never sent me cookies back.
Yeah. See, for me, I don't care about that. All I care about is if they're excited or happy whenever I do or give them whatever.
Then you probably never face disappointment after, right?
I mean, I've definitely had someone just be like, all right, thanks, and then just like throw it to the side. And I'm like, oh, like I was so excited. I put a lot of thought and effort into this, but whatever, I guess.
So you were doing it for their reaction.
Like I want to make other people happy. Like that's what I like to do, and I enjoy doing things for others and making them happy. Like I get really excited knowing that, say I have something to give you and I know you're going to love it. I get so excited waiting to give it to you that if someone doesn't give me
me too.
If someone doesn't give you an excitement reaction and they're just like, oh, okay, then it kind of just like hurts you on the inside.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. One time I had an ex-boyfriend. We broke up, but we were still friends. And I'm traumatized from this. We used to do sprinkles cupcakes, the red velvet ones. He was vegan. And so we were meeting up for dinner. I was like, I'm going to get our favorite cupcakes. Like, this is going to be so cute, like old times. So I pull up in the Uber, picking him up for dinner, and I have the cupcakes. I'm like, here, I got you cupcakes. And he's like, That's so weird. It was the worst reaction I ever could have hoped for. And I've been traumatized and scared to give men gifts since that incident.
Yeah, I would honestly have been so embarrassed as well. Like, and had such
I was like, I don't even want to go to dinner with you anymore.
I would be like, actually, these are both for me. I was just kidding.
Yeah, JK.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
He actually does have Asperger's.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the one that I was talking about.
Yeah. So that, I guess that
He
honestly
didn't
makes
fully mean
sense.
it.
So yeah, he didn't fully mean it.
But still, I'm really scared to give gifts now. It gives me, like, I'll sweat and, like, get anxiety when I'm going to give a man a gift now because of that experience.
Yeah, honestly, I get nervous, too, with certain guys giving them gifts because, like, if they don't like it, whatever, you can see on their face that I would get anxiety giving them something other than food. Food is fine.
Other than food. You give everyone food. Besides me, you've never given me food.
You don't eat.
Tea.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you don't eat.
Dude, I do. I've been eating so much.
Jealous.
I've changed. I remember in
I've
the
changed
past
my ways.
in the past episode I said that I actually want to touch on this even though it has nothing to do with the episode. In the past episode I said, I just drink coffee. I don't eat food. I've actually really been working on that in my life and eating healthy meals and not living off coffee anymore. So that's definitely not healthy. People who asked for my diet, and I told them that in the past. Just wanted to touch on that. I'm eating 3 meals a day now, doing really good. I'm more fit, and I like my body better than ever.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's good. That makes me really happy because you don't. It's
I haven't
easy
gained
to,
any
like,
weight, and I'm eating so much food.
Yeah.
Healthy food. I eat salmon, salad every day.
Yeah, I think your fear is just like, because I've had that too whenever I was super fit, is being so scared to eat something because I thought I was going to literally, like, you have that fear that you're going to gain 10 pounds overnight. It's like that physically doesn't happen and you are active. Like, you're not going to gain that weight, like you got to like stop thinking like that because I used to have that fear too. And that's why I developed like a severe eating disorder.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So the last part of the topic that we're supposed to be talking about, we were talking about being out of balance with your feminine energy. All of us, I think, have some of those traits. So how does balancing our feminine or masculine energy help us with dating? On the TikTok trend, a lot of it was saying things in line with your feminine or masculine energy, so saying things the right way. And I know in the past, in my relationship, I definitely didn't ask for the things that I wanted or needed in line with feminine energy. I was very toxic, demanding, critical when they didn't do the things that I wanted.
So going forward, you're saying that you're going to try to not
so let's give them some examples. So say you want your boyfriend to move in with you. What is a better way to word that than giving them an ultimatum saying, we've been together for a year, you're going to move in with me or we're going to break up?
Yeah.
I see the way I would do it because I'm a doormat. I would just...
It's in a good way. Just remember
that. I would just subtly or even be like, how amazing would it be for us to wake up every day together and like have breakfast together or go to bed together every night, or since I live far away, for me, it's like, driving here an hour and a half.
I tried to use that one, like the schedule, like we spend a lot of time in the car going back and forth. But I love how you listed to him the positives of living together. That is a very logical way to go about it versus being emotional and demanding.
Because honestly, too, I would also be like, think about how much more sex we could have.
Girl, you would.
I know. But yeah, just list the positives and the things that would make them excited and you get excited. Like, I also am a huge organizer and OCD cleaner.
Being feminine though, okay, so you list all the positives and then the cons of you guys not living together.
Don't list the cons.
Well, you said like us, no, of not living together. We have to keep driving back and forth. Do you follow that with the question? Like, so do you want to move in together or do you just wait to see their response?
You wait. I would wait and see what they say, how they react, and then base what you say next after how they're reacting. Yeah. So if you can tell, like, ooh, no, I'm scared. Like, oh, let's keep it at 2 days a week of sleeping over. Then don't say anything at all and just let them think, okay, like let them have that, wait a little bit, and then see where that goes. But if they seem excited about it, or a lot of the times if a guy wants to live with you, for what I've experienced is like I'm like, come over every day, come stay the night with me. Like stay here as much as possible.
We were doing that.
I don't know. Yeah.
He practically already lived with me. like had a toothbrush here.
That's
everything.
See, but that's what I was gonna say about that is that's the issue. It's for me, whenever I was in a relationship and me and my ex actually just ended up living together, we never had the discussion. Like we never had the whole like talk, like me being like, I want to live together. It just happened naturally because he was so tired of me not being able to like spend the time with him, or it was inconvenient. I was like, look, I can't stay the night. Like I have to go back home, yada, yada, you know? So that became an issue to the point where he was like, you might as well just bring all your stuff here, you know, because like if you're going to keep going back and forth, like, you know, and I told him like I wasn't doing it. So the fact that you're giving the other person the comfort of having a place to come back to at night to sleep, they're never going to want to move in with you because they pretty much are, but they're still going to have that excuse of like, oh, well, I'm not really living with you because I'm just coming over like whenever I feel like it. You should never give someone that opportunity because they're going to take advantage of that, you know? So it should be like, oh, well, if you're not going to live with me, then this isn't just a hotel room for you to fucking come home and like
I don't agree with
stay the night.
Well, let's break this down to a more simple scenario. Say you're interested in a guy and he's interested in you, and you want to go on another date with him, but he hasn't really been following up with you. Shut up. He hasn't really been following up with you. What is a feminine way to push that forward without being too pushy or demanding? And really stay in your feminine essence.
I mean, I think being in tune with your energy as far as being open, like you have those emotions built up and you're already building up resentment against him when you don't even know like what his situation is. So by being
I
open,
wouldn't say that I'm building up resentment.
I mean, you are like
we're not talking about me here.
Just keep
going. Or like just in general, like you don't want to build up resentment against someone because you don't know how they feel. And I think being open with your feelings and being in tune with your emotions and letting them know like, hey, you know, I really like you. Like I've had a really great time hanging out with you. I just want to know like how you feel. And I know that sometimes people will say, oh, don't say it like it's too soon, like you don't want to scare them away. But honestly, it's not about them. It's about you. Don't fucking care about them. It's about you and your emotions, and that's more important. So if it makes you look crazy to be open and honest, then do it because it's going to make you feel better essentially. Like you don't want to build up that resentment against someone when you don't really know how they feel without being open and talking to them.
See, for me, what I would do, since obviously I don't live in LA and most people that I would talk to live in LA, I would be like, say something, hi, like, how's your day, blah, 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 and then say, hey, on this day, I'm going to be in LA or I'm going to be in the area. Would love to see you. Let me know if you have time. And then you can tell based on how they speak to you and their actions if they really do like you, what they're trying to go for. But if they just blow you off, then obviously you already know that it's not worth your time. But I am the type that I would reach out and be like, hey, this, and this, and then give them the option to follow up with you.
And how would you handle, say, and once again, I'm not talking about me here. I don't know why you guys think that I'm talking about me. So say a girl is in a situation where she likes someone, and I'm not talking about me.
I'm like, I don't know, on live yesterday, you're like, guys, so as you know, all of our topics are based off of my personal experience.
I'm really asking for them. I'm really asking for them. Because I would never be blown off. But I'm saying a girl who does get blown off, how do you handle that in a feminine way? Because I know I've been in a serious relationship the whole time that I've known you, so we don't know how I would respond to these situations yet. But sometimes you've gotten angry, you've sent like text messages like, why aren't you texting me back? I thought we were gonna hang out this weekend. Like that's not very. I don't find that to be very feminine. How could you have handled those things in a more feminine? Healthier way.
I feel like that is feminine because it's your emotions that it's over feminine because you're having emotions.
Yeah, it's toxic femininity because you're being demanding and once again critical.
Well, that's what I said.
Accusing them of blowing you off.
Yeah, no, I mentioned earlier. That's what I was giving the advice on, saying that you should just be honest and open. Like, hey, like, you know, I had a really great time. Like, I really enjoy your company. I just wanted to see like where things are going. Like, this is how I feel. Like, let me know if you feel the same way. Because if not, then like,
yeah,
we're like, we can go our separate ways. Like, no hard feelings. That's how I am. I'm just a very honest person. And, you know, I used to have those traits of like being upset or angry because they, you know, didn't respond or they took too long or like they canceled the plans. And now I'm the complete opposite. I'm still letting them know how I feel, but in a more mature way by saying like, hey, like, look, you know, I just don't feel like we're compatible, or I don't feel like we're on the same level of interest. And like, there's no hard feelings. Like, I hope we can still be friends. I'm just letting you know that I don't think this is going to work out.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, if I'm talking to someone newly, and they kind of ghost me or blow me off, like, I just don't say anything at all. And if I'm feeling that way about them, like, say we've been on a few dates, I can tell or we're just texting casually, whatever, I will slowly pull away. I'm not gonna, unless we're fully boyfriend, girlfriend, or we've even talked about being exclusive or whatnot, like, I don't really send an explanation, like, we're not working out. I would they can just kind of catch the drift.
That's how I am too. Like, I feel if I'm interested in someone and I have stronger feelings that they have for me, I might, like, just ghost them for a while till those feelings settle down, and then we can be friends after.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I slowly would pull away too. I guess I was just referring, like, how you said if you're, like, full-blown talking or you're going on multiple dates. But, yeah, I would probably kind of do the same thing, like, reciprocate the energy, you know?
Yeah.
Exploring your feminine and masculine energy when it comes to the realm of dating is very important, so you can find where you're unbalanced, and maybe if that comes from past experiences or trauma, you can heal those to come back into your essence and have everyone, male or female, an equal balance of masculine and equal balance of feminine, which, going back to the yin and yang, is finding the balance between two opposites. So yes, it's very important in dating. I hope that this inspires you to do more research on this topic and figure out where you could grow and better yourself in this area. So let's get into the fan questions.
So my question is from Cole365, and it's, I want to be friends with my ex, but she's acting cold AF. Should I keep trying or give her space? So I would say, honestly, give her space until she reaches out or until she's normal again, because if she's acting cold, there's probably issues. She's either very heartbroken and she's being angry to deal with that, or she is angry from, whatever reason that you broke up. So I would definitely give her space, and later in the future, when you guys are both ready and healed from the relationship and, whatever you broke up or whatever reason you broke up, then you guys will come back and be friends again. I've definitely had friendships with my ex. Obviously, at first, it took a few months, and then we became friends and hung out and everything was normal again. So definitely give her space and time if she's being cold towards you.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I'm 1 month out from a breakup. At the beginning, it was really hard having contact, and my ex blocked me on everything. We saw each other a couple times, but it was just very difficult and led to him not wanting to see or talk to me at all for a while. Now we're finally back on talking terms. We've been texting the past couple days, doing we've been talking on the phone too for like an hour each day, just about like what's going on. We're not getting back together.
I'm like,
no. He has some stuff going on in his personal life, so I'm being there for him as a friend. Yeah. But it's really great once the hurt, like you said, goes away and things and the emotions settle down, to go back and be friends with this person, because there's obviously a reason why you dated in the first place, commonalities, or the fact that you guys, get each other. That was essentially your best friend for a long time. So it's great to be able to keep them in your life once the emotions settle down. We're not at a point where we could see each other or hang out though, but I do look forward to, in the future, being able to see each other and not have to worry about us fighting or getting back together or hooking up or anything. So we're still keeping that distance, and we're just communicating via texting and phone calls right now as friends, which is, it's great. It makes me feel so much better about things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just give it time. You don't want that other person to say things that they don't mean because they're angry or hurt and upset. So giving her space is probably the best case scenario in the situation, because you don't want her to say something out of anger and spite, and you need her, or you need to have that person or give them time to heal. So I think that's really important. Because ultimately you would want to be friends. Like, I don't believe in, burning bridges with your exes. Obviously I have one burned with my ex, but it's because he chose to burn it, not me. Yeah. But for me, it's not even necessarily like losing a best friend. It's just like, to me, if you put so much energy into a relationship, you know so much about that person, you experience a lot of things with that person, you should keep that person in your life, you know, because they were in your life for a reason. And I don't believe in just like tossing someone, acting like they never existed, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're starting to date someone new or they're dating someone new, back off and let them have that because...
Yeah, I mean, me and my ex now, we're at a point where we're completely comfortable, like, talking about, I'm hooking up with this person, they're hooking up with that person. And so that's, for me right now, that's not hard, but I get where you're coming from. Some people, that could be extremely hard to know if they're with other people.
Well, I'm saying in a relationship. So if I'm starting to date someone new, like whenever I got in my relationship, I didn't talk to my ex anymore out of respect because that's a little weird to do.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah,
me and my...
But also it is weird to talk to your ex about who you're hooking up with.
That's what he said, but I've always done that. Like, sort of when we break up and those feelings go away, you kind of become like my gay best friend in a way. And I ask you for dating advice.
Like, maybe we should find you a guy friend. Yeah.
Oh my
God. Anyway, we should move on to the next question.
I had another note on it.
Oh, okay.
Going back to that, I actually had one experience where I can't have contact with my ex-husband because he always assumes that contact means that we're going to get back together. And so I purposefully have to withdraw so that I don't get his hopes up or hurt him.
Yeah. So pretty much, long story short, let her have her space. Unless she comes forward to you and wants to be a friend, definitely stop hitting her up because she is gonna she needs time to heal and
that could push her away
move
further.
on. Yeah, or you could just keep her constantly sad because if you're in her life but you aren't gonna date her or be with her, that's not good for her.
So my fan question is how to know you've met your soulmate. So I actually saw this online a while back, and it was a quote by Sadhguru, I believe. I don't know if I'm saying it properly. So I really like this, and it actually stuck with me, is that there's no such thing as a soulmate. It's the amount of effort that you put in that makes you compatible with someone. And if you are going to spend your time and energy on searching for the perfect soulmate, you're actually going to be very disappointed when you find that person because they don't exist. A soul essentially doesn't need to be mated with another soul. It's one. So it's basically saying that you have to be the best version of yourself. And like we've brought this up before. And once you feel that way, and once you are ready to put in the energy and the effort to show someone that you are the best of yourself or the best version of yourself, that you love yourself and you're ready to be loved by someone else, that's when you're going to feel like you found your soulmate.
I actually saw something similar going back to TikTok. I think it might have been the same person.
Probably was, yeah.
He said the grass is greener, not on the other side, but it's greener where you water it. And that's what I told my ex towards our breakup, because he'd be like, oh, this relationship is trash. It's toxic. We don't have chemistry. I'm like, no, sweetie, the grass is greener where you water it. If we're not working on this, then of course the grass is going to die.
Yeah.
So it's, essentially, I mean, of course, you know, having a soulmate, I think that just the term is to an extent that it's compatibility. But yeah, it's the effort that you put in. Like, we all have something special in ourselves that we share with others when we want to be loved, when we want to be attracted. So, you know, for instance, for myself, like, I'm ready to be in a relationship, so I'm putting my best foot forward and I'm giving my all self to someone. I'm being communicative. I'm being open, you know, I'm being outgoing. I'm showing them the best traits of me because I'm ready to be in a relationship. And if they're reciprocating that, that's when I'll feel like that's my soulmate, because I've given all of my effort and I see that they're the same way. So, yeah. Do you guys have any input on the soulmate?
I don't know. You just, like, listening to you talk just made me smile. I don't know why.
Wait, so are you in love with me?
She goes,
Okay, my question. How do you know if you're being too picky or actually know what you want and waiting for the right person? This past year, I've learned so much about relationships. I don't think there is such thing as being too picky, but I do think that there's people that you're more or less compatible with. And I think there is something that you need to accept, which is that you shouldn't have expectations for other people or try to change other people or be upset when they don't fit into the mold of what you want.
Because you'll be disappointed. It's just kind of going back to like what I had talked about.
I think this is all about finding someone that you like, who has a lot of qualities that you enjoy and that you find compatible with yourself. And like we talked a lot about in this episode, not being controlling over them, not trying to change them, just sitting back, letting other people do what they want, observing. If it's not for you, then yes, move on. It doesn't have to be being too picky. Really just let people be themselves. And if you enjoy them for who they are, then stick with them and enjoy it. But if you don't enjoy them for who they truly are, don't try to change that. Don't try to jump into a relationship with someone who has qualities that you find to be red flags. And don't be upset when people don't meet your expectations. Just once again, sit back, watch, see what people want to do. If it works for you, it does. If it doesn't, then don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if you feel like you're being too picky, then it's probably not the right person, because not everyone meshes well with everyone. So you will find someone that you just instantly click, and you won't have to force things. You won't have to sit there and be like, man, I wish that they did this. Obviously, that sucks, having to take yourself out of the situation and move on. But it's not being picky when it comes to what makes you happy and what makes you feel loved and what makes you feel like you're getting what you need to have.
Yeah. Also, going back to being in your feminine energy, it seems like she might be being toxic feminine by being too critical.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something within yourself that you need to work on before you go and try to find that in someone else. Also, a thing that me and Olivia have been talking about a lot recently is if you want certain qualities in a partner, you need to find them in yourself first.
Girl, so you took the words right out of my mouth.
If you want a man who has this, that, and this, you better make sure that you have that too. Otherwise, you don't deserve him. So you shouldn't be being critical or picky of someone unless you also possess those qualities.
Yeah. I mean, you literally took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to give my input to, is that, you know, sometimes being too picky, you have to take a step back and think, why are you being that picky? Because if you have certain expectations and standards for someone, are you in that, you know, are you in that level? Yeah. It's like, oh, you want a guy who has abs and is fit. Are you fit? Do you have abs? Are you going to the gym? Yeah. You want a guy who's a millionaire. Are you a successful entrepreneur? Are you a millionaire? You can't ask for those things in people when you're not in that position as well. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, sometimes, you know, you're not going to be on the same level, and there are relationships like that. But yeah, once again, it's just you cannot be that picky when you're not up to those standards as well.
Or like striving to be up to those standards.
All right, so that wraps up this episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you head over, listen to us on Apple Podcasts. We drop our episodes about 3 days sooner every Friday at 12 a.m. So make sure that you head over there, and thanks for listening.
Bye.